විතරයි විධායකයා විවස්ථා දායකයා අතර ගැටුම හදන්න.
ආණ්ඩුව මේ කොහෙවත් නැති කුණුපරක් දික් කරලා තමයි බේරෙන්නට හදන්නේ.
ඒක මංජුල මහත්මයාගෙන් අහන්න ඕනේ.
A very good evening to you and welcome to Primetime News on MTV Sports, live from the News First studios in Colombo. I'm Nadim Majid.
And I'm Punchani Abdusingha. Let's start off with a look at tonight's headlines.
Making headlines this evening, university lecturers to report to work on Monday. Doctors and teachers also demand a salary increase. Cabinet spokesperson says the Secretary to the Judicial Service Commission should not be issuing media releases. Also in local news, 21 new President's Councils.
Brought to you by
Pantene 3-Minute Miracle for less hair fall. Pantene.
Taking a look at your top story tonight, the Federation of University Teachers Association, or FUTA, announced that university lecturers will report to work from Monday. The chairman of FUTA, Dr. Nirmal Ranjit Devasiri, however, said that their struggle will continue.
The Executive Committee of the Federation of University Teachers Association met today at the Open University in Navalla. Subsequent to the lengthy discussions held since morning, the spokesperson for FUTA noted that the Executive Committee had decided to conclude the trade union action.
කෙසේ වෙතත් අවසානයේදී අපි ගත්ත තීරණය තමයි සිට වැඩ වර්ජනය නතර කරන.
Nevertheless, we have decided to cease the strike action from tomorrow. We were unable to follow some of the things that were proposed in the discussion process. This is because our membership did not agree with the draft of the joint statement which has been prepared. We will be able to commence the marking of A-level answer scripts.
උසස් පෙළ පිළිතුරු පත්‍ර සම්බන්ධයෙන් තිබුණු සියලුම සීමාවන් අපේ සමාජිකත්වයේ
මේ සටන අතාරින්නේ නැහැ. සටන අපි වැඩට ඇවිල්ලත්
we will not cease the struggle. When we get back to work, we need to join with the unions and take the struggle forward. Not only education, there are numerous reasons to struggle. But this struggle is not only an academic struggle. We will carry on with it as a national struggle.
නෙවෙයි ජාතික අරගලයක් වශයෙන් අධ්‍යාපනය සඳහා ඒ අරගලය නිම කරන්නේ නැත.
Meanwhile, arrangements had been made to conduct a joint press conference with the participation of both the Federation of University Teachers Association and government representatives today. However, none of the FUTA representatives showed up at the media briefing. I am able to state on the part of the government that the lecturers' strike is ending. We have decided on a good framework of proposals which suit both the country and them. The minister said that a presidential commission will be appointed to look into the issues so as to ensure a similar situation does not arise in the future. This will be done to create an environment to ensure that we do not have to face a situation like this for the next 10 to 15 years. We did not search for a solution which would be valid for 1 or 2 days. We were able to bring all parties to share this viewpoint. We were all of the same view. We will all have to work a little harder. Meanwhile, the Minister of Higher Education said that the salaries accrued over the period of the trade union action will be paid to the lecturers. A letter was obtained from the Ministry Secretary regarding paying salaries. We also obtained a letter stating that when the lecturers report to work, no vengeful action or any vindictive action will be taken based on various falling outs or hard feelings that were present during the strike. Meanwhile, the Government Medical Officers Association says that they too should receive a salary increase equivalent to what the university lecturers are to receive. At a media briefing held today, the association warned that if they did not receive a positive response, they too will begin a trade union action within the next 2 weeks.
We have noted that the university lecturers have been engaging in a trade union action for close to 3 months. After they engaged in this trade union action, discussions took place. A salary increase was the main focus of these discussions. This has set a bad example. So as a trade union, we too would like to say that we also should receive a wage hike if they are to be given one. What we say is that the government medical officers should be given an equivalent salary increase. We request a meeting with the Secretary to the Ministry of Finance if we don't receive a positive response within the next 2 weeks. As the Government Medical Officers Association, we have decided to resort to trade union action.
ප්‍රචාරය නොලැබුණොත් ඒ සම්බන්ධ වෘත්තීය ක්‍රියාමාර්ගයට යන්න රාජ්‍ය වෛද්‍යධාරික සංගමය තීරණය කළා තියෙනවා.
On a related note, representatives from 15 teachers and principals trade unions convened a media briefing today. This was to inform the authorities about their salary anomalies as well as the non-payment of allowances. It has been 2 years and 6 months since Bandula Gunawardena was made the Minister of Education, and he has only held one single discussion with the trade unions. The marking of advanced level examination papers should be done. We were flexible and we agreed to the allowance proposal. But what happened? The government cast it aside. 15 years have passed since the beginning of the salary anomaly in 1997. There are over 50,000 teachers and principals who have not been given any promotions. They robbed their salary arrears as well. That proposal was made in 2008. Our first request is to amend this proposal to meet the present day requirements of teachers and principals. We are ready to take action over the politicization of the education system, the arbitrary decisions of the Education Ministry, the non-granting of promotions and the salary anomalies of teachers and principals.
A group of senior lawyers were appointed as President's Council today. President Mahinda Rajapaksa presented the appointment letters to the group, which comprised of 21 senior lawyers. The presentation took place at President's House in Colombo. Journalists questioned the cabinet spokesperson about the recent attack on the Secretary to the Judicial Service Commission, Manjula Tilakaratne, at today's cabinet media briefing.
Attention was drawn to the communique issued to the media by the Secretary to the Judicial Service Commission. The former secretary back in 2007 issued a circular to refrain from giving interviews to the media. The first question is whether releasing a communique is right or wrong. The government is of the view that it is wrong. Therefore, the question arises whether any action should be taken with regard to it. What is to happen will happen. The results will follow. I can't say anything now. You should ask Mr. Manjula about it. Just as you have the right to say that this is not a conspiracy and that the government did it, another person has the right to say it is a conspiracy. The question is, who will take advantage of this?
Meanwhile, leader of the National Freedom Front, Minister Vimal Veeravansa, expressed his views on the allegations levelled by certain parties over the attack on Manjula Tilakaratne.
They need to create a conflict between the judiciary, the executive and the legislature. How can Mangala Samaravira say that a drug addict would be arrested? This statement can only be made by one who had given that contract to a drug addict. Imagine if this was actually carried out by a group of drug addicts who were given a contract. Going by what Mangala Samaravira says, they cannot be caught because they are drug addicts.
Parliamentarian Palitharange Bandara says that various ministers are presenting baseless facts to shift focus from the allegations directed at the government over the attack on the Secretary to the Judicial Service Commission, Manjula Tilakaratne. The parliamentarian expressed this view at a media briefing in Colombo today.
Manjula Tilakaratne hatar pahar dunne siddhiyedi ek dala salah peruma mantriwaraya amatiwaraya kiyනවා
With regard to the attack on Manjula Tilakawatna, Minister Dallas Alahappiruma says that Tilakawatna just stayed in his car without going to see his child's talents. Vimal Veerawansa also says the same thing. It is Manjula Tilakawatna who should decide whether he is going to see his child or not. He is the father. When the crime is directly pinned on the government, they are saying various things to shift the focus.
In more local news, former President Chandrika Kumaratunga says that the violation of human rights and the rule of law have become the order of the day. She expressed this view at an event in Mount Lavinia today.
The UN Association at the St. Thomas's College celebrated UN Day today under the theme End Poverty, Feed Hunger. Former President Chandrika Kumaratunga was the chief guest at the event.
When we let respect for freedom and democracy and democratic governance disappear, we will have laid the foundation for autocracy and dictatorship. We live in a country where the naked demonstration of the abuse of power, the shameless indulgence in corruption and nepotism, the violation of human rights and the rule of law have become the order of the day. The absolutist powers bestowed on the executive presidency and the recent abrogation of the 17th Amendment to our Constitution have no doubt compounded this situation.
Time now to take a look at the newspaper cartoon of the day.